Hello, 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 and welcome to How Do You Not Know This, the podcast where we talk about subjects where you really should know about this. But we all have some gaps in our knowledge, and all of us have been at a party where everyone's talking about things, and we have no idea what they're talking about, and we just laugh along. Anyway, I'm Daliso Chaponda. Opposite me is the comedian Tony Vino. We are the older contingent, and then to my right is Dom Hatton Woods.
You're right, everyone.
He is a comedian who, despite being a funny person, has lots of gaps of knowledge. I realized as we were driving towards a gig that I would mention things that I thought everybody knew about. Dom didn't know about it, hence this podcast was born.
Was that early on in our relationship?
Early on, I realized you didn't know a lot.
Yeah.
It's just stuff where I would mention the Treaty of Versailles. You'd be like, what? What's that?
Yeah, but it's also the wonderful earnestness to you, Dom, and to your credit is that you will admit when you don't know something. You won't even try.
Yes, most people pretend they know.
You know, most people, you know, there's ways of getting out of a conversation when you don't really know what you're doing, or you know, you're out of your depth. But you just like, I have literally never heard of that.
It's the honesty.
It's brilliant.
So every episode we bring up something which everybody really should know about. We ask Dom if he knows about it, and then we discuss it.
Yeah.
Please like, subscribe, and you can go back. We've got loads of past episodes you can catch up on. Yeah. Some of the best ones was my favorite was Jesus was a very good one.
What was your favorite?
My favorite was actually Love Languages was very good.
Oh yeah.
And loads of great episodes.
And that's it.
Just take a look. Okay, so but before we get to it, we always kind of give each other an update of what we've been up to recently. I recently finished a contract of many cruise ships.
Oh yeah.
And it is good shows, pays well, but it's very isolating. You're literally in a cabin alone for weeks. You have a little bit of small talk with people who are on the ship. But this coming week, I've got a very good friend who she's coming with me on the cruise, so I'm looking forward to that. But I realized I could have really not paid for it. So I paid for the flight. I paid for her to be on. It cost a lot of money. And I was talking to a magician. And he said to me, "You're an idiot." I was like, "What are you being?" He said, "You should have said she's part of the act." Right? And he said she's clearly not part of the act. But he told me the story of when they started making, it used to be free to have a guest. When they started making people pay for the guest, a magician said, "No, she's part of the act." And they're like, "What do you mean?" And he said, "You know the levitating I do?" Because he did a levitating in his set. He said, "She uses the remote control to make that happen." This was a total lie, right? And then he went to a pound shop, got a little remote control car.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Threw away the car, gave it to her, and said, "When I do the levitation, just..."
So how would you have?
Yeah, it's better for magicians.
No. All I needed
Comedians?
to do is have a bit. She's fit, and I could just have her do like, she's my assist. I do a little bit with her.
We could have maybe just said that she.
Oh yeah, you could do a sketch.
I could do a sketch with her.
Let me show you this sketch. Because there's a magician I met on a ship, and it was he's a Spanish magician, and he basically got together with there was a girl working in the spa, and then and basically they were like, well, and it was literally the end of a 2-week contract. He was going off, and then it was really beautiful, but he went, "Should we make a go of this?" And they were together years later, and I was with him on the ship, and she went with him. And then all he did was got her to push on a trolley.
Yes,
exactly. And now they travel the world, and she does the trolley. She brings on the trolley with props. Brilliant.
So are you making a loss for this cruise then, do you reckon?
I'm probably breaking even. But again, it's worth it because it's also her 40th birthday. It's a big celebration.
Right.
You know, and
I managed to take I took my whole family, Claire, both
Could
kids.
be my 40th birthday soon, apparently.
You could go with them this weekend.
No, also, I mean, she's delightful. If not in another reality, I would date her, but it's complicated. But I enjoy it.
It's never not complicated with you.
No, it's legit. Look, she might be listening, but there are reasons why it's complicated. I've told you off camera.
Love's hard, man.
Love is hard.
It
I don't know if
is.
you've realised.
It is. Maybe we should change the name of this podcast.
Love's hard.
Love's hard.
It's complicated.
Love's hard.
I think the whole concept of it, if there's, I don't know, 7 billion people in the world, is that right?
7.6, I think. Yeah,
That's
is that
going
right?
up.
Coming up to 8 billion?
Yeah,
Is that
going
right?
up.
Yeah.
So for the two of, when I was in school, I would like, how can two of those people both, because I would generally like women and they wouldn't like me. And how can two of those people like each other enough to agree to spend their life together? That's a mad concept.
It's incredible, isn't it? And
It's a
you
mental
go,
concept, I think.
and I think he does fly in the face of the idea of like, well, there's destiny. You know, you know, this is the one for me. 'Cause
I actually think we all have maybe 50,000 people, probably more, who we'd be compatible with. And
maybe
it's finding
50,000 have
those.
the perfect relationship.
It's not having
with, and
one.
then
It's
like,
not
yeah.
like it's not the
Yeah.
one. It's like the 50 million of the 50 billion. The 50 million who.
I love that.
It's so romantic.
You are the one of a large group of people.
Yes.
that this is compatible with.
And I'm compatible.
Yeah, well, there's 7 billion, but there's not 7 billion people for you, is there?
No, but at least 50,000 of those would be good, and at least 100,000 would still be a good.
Yeah, but then you break it, you know, distance, radius, gender, sexuality, type, what they like.
I was taking that into account. Yeah.
Right. So you reckon there's 50,000 people?
For me, for you, a lot less.
I thought he was going to say more. I was expecting a compliment. He singed to me.
Love is different. No, love is easy, isn't it? Love is easy.
Finding it
but
is hard, is that what you're saying?
I don't
I
think
think-
love is easy.
I think to love someone.
I think loving someone is a big leap because people are selfish and horrible and undeserving. And hey, look, I just had someone cheat on me and have a baby with someone else. That maybe I'm in a jaded state of mind.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, maybe I'm in a jaded state of mind, but I think it's very hard when that sort of thing is possible. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then
So that's interesting.
talk to people at divorces. If you speak to a divorce lawyer, the way that in divorce people are so horrible to each other, it makes you.
That's the weird thing. 'Cause I've lived long enough now and had friends that have been together, got married, and all the rest, and then gone through really acrimonious divorces. And it's a weird one how you go. In your mind, you picture them in their sort of honeymoon period and when they got married and making the commitment. You know, everything was so beautiful. To how much they hate each other, and you go. You can have the same person. And the other person is the same person, and you at one point thought they were amazing, and you loved them, and you were doing.
I had someone who, within 9 years, went from "I would do anything for you, I live for you" to "I will destroy you." Same person.
I will do anything for you. I will do anything to you to hurt you.
To hurt you. Same person.
That's incredible, isn't it?
It's incredible.
I think the mad thing is, sorry.
Yeah.
People say like you've got to, you know, because I'm looking at very actively. Yeah, I'm very actively looking for when I'm doing stuff, mostly for the online stuff. But when people say you're looking for it too hard, you're looking for it, it will just turn up. No, it won't. Well, I don't leave the house. What's my dream woman going to just burgle me or something?
And I know people who have been looking for it been waiting for it, not looking for it for a long time, and like go on apps, date, try to. If you want it, chase it.
But it is a painful because if you go on like 100 dates, probably 5 of those you're going to get on, maybe.
There's probably
I'm
a
a difficult
sweet
person
spot.
to get on
There's
with.
looking for it, as in there's doing something active, but there is the sort of, you know, pushing, trying to, because love is also a gift. You know, there is something, you know, beyond just. It's not like, you know, working on your career or trying to learn a language. You know, there's a sort of, you know, a spiritual, emotional something.
You say it's not like learning a language is like a threesome, like Duolingo.
But like, for example, if you did now break up with your lovely lady, that'll be a mental transition in your life. How long have you been with her?
long time, 20 years.
That would be an insane transition.
Because
now
she's part of your life.
It's almost like it's hard to kind of like, you know, you I remember that Bill Woolen does a great joke where he goes like, I you know, going on dates after being with someone for so many years, you know, because like I went to the discotheque again that I went to pool 30 years ago. It'd been turned into a bowling alley, you know, the kind of thing. That the whole landscape.
Well, last
has changed,
episode you talked
and the
about
interior-
going to a singles night on the ship.
Yeah.
There was a solo travelers meetup, and it was all widows and widowers, people whose partner had died. It was so depressing. But it is kind of lovely that they're trying to meet someone new, but it was like, I went thinking, oh, it's just solo travelers. And then I looked around, I was like, oh no, it's people who are trying to rebuild. Because the average age is like over 60. So most of the solo travelers, it's because...
Well, it's nice that they've got two things in common then, haven't they? You know, they like cruising.
But I realised I was not fitting in. I was not fitting in.
Look at him coming in here smiling.
But the fact that we've had to now, like people are, these dating app events, you know, singles are now a massive industry. The fact that's such a bit is sad, man.
Oh, also, I think dating
to-
apps have ruined... I think dating apps are worse than the days when we just used to
ruined
randomly
dating,
go and...
But also, it's they're predicated on this idea of, you know, like things like subscriptions. They're predicated on their own lack of success, on throwing out, keep you subscribing and keep trying and all the rest of it, because... You know,
yes,
they're
if you find love,
loneliness.
they've lost a subscriber.
They've lost a subscriber. They don't want the way
I wonder if they've tweaked the algorithm that someone seems like... Can you imagine they're like...
That's for sure.
She's perfect for him. No, don't show her him. Show him someone where it will break up soon.
But that's it. Because, you know, and I know there's only, there's maybe 20 years between us or less.
Not in looks.
But... I think your generation, the difficulty is almost the ability to just go, I'm gonna choose this person. You know what I mean? Because when if you fed this constant, like, you know,
100 options,
hundreds of options all the time, you're never gonna go where you are and who you're with. This person, we can make this work.
Yeah, I think because any time a man goes on a night out, he's never going for a night out. He's going to meet a woman.
This is not true.
It is. And any man that says he's not is bullshit.
No, you were talking nonsense.
I'm not.
You're talking nonsense.
Any man that goes out drinking,
Any single man.
This is untrue.
Any single man.
I went out yesterday. I wasn't looking to pull.
Who did you go out with?
People I live with. We went for a drink.
Now, perhaps...
Maybe I'm talking about younger. No, I mean clubbing.
Even when I was younger.
I mean clubbing.
If I was clubbing, I'll go to club and have fun.
Okay,
you are too solo-oriented.
This is really fucked
You
up my
said
theory.
something as true, which is totally untrue.
I think it's true.
It's totally untrue.
Anytime.
You only go out to pull.
I think
you have no friends. You have no fun.
I don't like going out.
Okay, then you're not everyone. We meet up all the time.
Yeah, we meet up all the time.
Going out.
We go out. I go out.
I've never been out with you.
I go out.
We've been out loads. You've never been out.
Well, I don't go out with you because you just want to pull.
I mean, and there is something.
I've gone dancing with friends. I've gone and also non-comedians on Fridays and Saturdays will often meet up with a bunch of people
To sleep with them?
No.
No. There is normal
To
people
have
out
fun.
there, Dom.
When you go to the have you gone to the cinema with some people?
Yeah, that's not the same thing. I'm not going to the cinema and being like, oh, which one of these people? That's just different. I'm there to watch the film. I'm talking about going out clubbing. I'm not talking about going
Yes, but
to
even
a coffee
clubbing,
shop.
like it's literally like we entertain people in clubs all the time. Do you think they're all trying to sleep with each other?
No, in a nightclub. To be clubbing event.
There is something, I'm sure, for single people going out tonight, maybe at the back of the mind, there might be a little something like, well, I'm out and there's some nice people here. But I suppose is that different to being you're going to a concert or you're at work and there's loads of new people, or there's always that part that I might meet someone who I like.
Yeah, I think I think you go out to have fun, and if you happen to meet someone, bonus.
And maybe we've basically
maybe
happened
it's changed.
upon what your issue is, Dom. That you're almost too focused on.
You're too focused.
Like it's scaring people off because they can see it in your eyes. You're like,
he's hungry.
You're a fox. everybody's a whatever fox.
No, like literally last episode, you talked about this very attractive woman who you were talking to, and when she found out about the age difference, she was like, "Oh, I'll still come to a show," and you're like, "No." So essentially, like, if I cannot sleep with you, I am not
she was
interested.
saying that to be nice. She was never coming to a show. Okay. She was just trying to make the atmosphere less because it
died. The issue here is right. So say you go out clubbing, you meet
become a fucking Dom's
you
issue.
meet someone you like, right? And they're like, "Oh, great. Where did you meet? At a nightclub?" And she went, "Yeah." And then you got together, and you're basically going, "I only came here to meet someone. I'm never going clubbing again once this is locked down." She might love nightclubbing. So that's the one place you've met. And then she'll meet loads of guys like, no.
Because men only go out to find a woman. I've just won again. What I will say, though, is I do think my issue with finding love is... I've spoken about this before, but there's the three Doms in my head. So there's a 15-year-old Dom, current Dom, and 40-year-old Dom. And current Dom and 40-year-old Dom are great guys. Well, current Dom's not a great guy. But young Dom needs the woman, all the stars to align. And everything to be perfect, and that's probably not realistic.
No, but that's everyone when they're young. It starts wearing away, right? So when you're like 20, you're looking for the one. You get to 45, you'll take anyone. Right? Like literally, you start compromising, and no, not even compromise. You start realizing that not all your joy has to come from that one person. When I was younger, I wanted someone who makes me laugh and is sexy and is intelligent and is all these things. And I was like, now as I'm old, I'm like, I've got friends, I've got family, I've got all those things. This person only needs to be some of the things, and then I get the other stuff from elsewhere in my life.
You touched upon something like that. There is a form of therapy which is called internal family systems. Apparently, you should have a look into this. This idea that you've got different ages and archetypes inside you. Like, so you young child. So you might, like, when you make a decision in a situation, like, what part of you is doing that? Is that like the child inside you? Is that the fearful adult? Is it the the internal fighter or whatever, so so there you go. So maybe you're basically just exploring very deep psychology, but you start with three Doms.
Wow. I almost think like this is more. I think this is more interesting than what the episode's about. Well, this is fantastic.
It is great, but let's do the episode. Here we go.
So, anyone who's not aware, what we do every week is we bring up something that we wonder if Dom even knows about it. And we ask Dom. Sometimes he doesn't know, sometimes he does. And we discuss it.
This one, I think you'll definitely know about it.
But I don't know.
Don't say that.
The question is the why. Okay. So we're comedians. And even in last episode, we talked about sometimes people take offense. People find things offensive, which we talk about. And my question is, do you know why certain things are offensive? So there are many examples, but let's choose. We'll do two or three.
Yeah.
But first one is blackface. You know, like if you show up at a gig, blacked up, a lot of people would take offense. Do you know why that is offensive? Was
it partly because, in acting, was it because you're taking the role away from an actual black person?
Not really, actually. No? I mean, like.
Although that
it's close.
It's
because then they're going to do a load of racist stereotypes.
Again, it's interesting because just if we went back, if we lived in a world where there was no history, there would be nothing wrong with you blacking up and playing a character with no context. It would be like, if I'm playing the Beast in Beauty and the Beast, I wear a mask. Actors do makeup. But the thing which has made it offensive is hundreds of years ago, there were minstrel shows, right? Where white people used to wear black people and they would play the black people horribly. The black people were always the thief. The black people were always stupid. And it meant we associate blacking up with that, right? And there are some countries where that isn't the case. So like if you go to, I think it's the Netherlands, around Christmas, there's a character called Black Pete. Black Pete, I think you'd have to, or Black Sam, I think it's Black Pete. Oh yeah, Zwarte Piet. Black Pete.
Yeah.
And Santa Claus essentially has a little helper who's a little black guy, and he's like a little helpful elf. And so they black up to play him. And, you know, understandably, people who are from places like America and the UK where there's a history, are like, what's going on here? So, yes, so it's that because it was used as an insult and it was horrible there, now anytime anyone blacks up, it's bringing you the memory of that. So it's offensive in this culture because of that, right? But this is true for almost everything that people find offensive. It's not just offensive, it's because of what we've done with it. Like the P word, which people use for people from Pakistan, it used to just be an abbreviation for the long word. And then people used it so much swearing at people.
Yeah. That then it became a pejorative term. And then it's almost like when a phrase or a practice like that has freight attached to it. So too much freight where you go, that's now become, it was used to denigrate or pull people down. Yeah.
Spanish. Your family. Was there a Spanish term? Is there a Spanish...
So is there a Spanish trope that goes with... So interestingly, like I remember there was a guy in the Navy that I used to know, and he used to say that any Spanish people, the phrase used to be like a spick. Someone from Spanish is a spick, and again it's not used now because it was pejorative. Yeah,
it was an insult.
Yeah, it was an insult. But it's an interesting one. I've fallen foul of this once. I was doing a cruise out in Australia. I don't know if I told you the story. And I'd been chatting to one of the performers I was working with, and I did this thing about language, how Australians always shorten every word, right? You say this, but you should, and that was the format of it. And then they have a word for Aboriginals, which was just, I think he called it...
ABO.
ABO, that's it. And he was like, and the thing is and he'd been talking about, people, Aboriginals from Australia. And I was just, and when, rather than saying Aboriginal, you say that, and then someone said, look, you're not allowed to use that. So it was like, he's been saying it all week.
But he was a racist.
I was like,
you did not know.
I was just like, oh, crikey, right. So it was like, sometimes you can use for it. That was the context where I was like, oh, crikey. But I'd gone into it.
Have you ever accidentally offended anyone? I feel like the answer should be yes.
Yeah.
Who? Or do you remember a case? Because I think the good thing is you're all allowed to make a mistake once.
I'm quite.
Then people tell you, and you'd stop doing it.
I'm quite rude at times by accident.
Okay.
But I don't know if I've ever used a slur.
No, it was just then you're fine. Or just done something which offended people, and then you're like, oh, I won't do that anymore.
Well, when I told Vince I was going to sleep with his daughter.
That will do it. You should not imply you want to sleep with your roommate's daughter. Housemate's daughter. That's a...
Well, I mean, I'd say it's a general principle, even if you're not living with them.
That's just generally.
Let's just put it out.
Let's just put it out there. Yes, that's a bit offensive. That's fantastic.
I got told off. So, the bit I talk about... there's a joke where I do talk about people eating, British people eating, love and all inclusive, and on a ship. And I do, and I act out this bit where someone says, and you know the joke that I do where I go, it was a guy from the north, like going, oh, all right, well, listen to his wife. Listen, you can have as much. You've done well there. That was a big plate, but you can have more. Remember, you're eating for two. Someone's like, oh, she's pregnant. No, schizophrenic. And someone came up and said, there's a problem with that. And she went, what is it? She went, I work with, in the mental health service, it's actually multiple personality disorder and schizophrenia. You're conflating the two. Schizophrenia is where you hear voices. You're referencing multiple personality disorder there.
It's not as funny though, is it?
I was like, yeah, but to be honest, it doesn't scan.
Yeah. It works better.
And I was like, yes. Is she pregnant? No, she has multiple personality. And I was like, oh, crikey. But I am... Yeah. But I get what she's saying. she was like, the issue is you're using the word in the wrong context, so therefore you're perpetuating the conflation of the two conditions, so it's causing more confusion in the sort of psychological zeitgeist. And I'm like, I mean, that is...
And also, most of the time...
Crikey.
Most of the time...
You still do it.
I still do. I mean, I might
No.
change it,
I'll tell you the truth. Most of the time in comedy, I'm like, it's just comedy. It's not a big deal. It doesn't have to be accurate. I get so many people saying, like, I had under a joke which I did that, oh, you know, you're perpetuating the stereotypes of Africa. I said, I'm not changing the mind. It's a joke. It doesn't matter. Okay? But there is one joke which I took out after an audience complained. Have you ever taken a joke out of your set because an audience complained? You?
There's been a few times that I've done bits and gone, right, that's not, I'm trying to...
So I'll give you my example. So for years, if someone said I'm offended, I'd be like, good. Art is meant to make you feel things, right? The only wrong thing is if you are bored. Either meant to make you laugh, or meant to make you angry, or meant to make you... Any emotional response is all good except boredom. But the first time the person convinced me to take it out this was the joke. Okay, I don't do this joke anymore, right? But this was the joke. You know when you break up with someone and then you find out they're doing the stuff you used to do with them with someone else? Really hurts, right? Like you found out, oh, he took her on a trip to the Lake District. I used to do that, right? And then you find out, oh, he sent her flowers at work. I used to do that. And then last week, he punched her in the face. That was my thing, right? So that joke, I was doing it, always used to do really well, get a huge reaction. And then one day after a show, a woman came up to me and said that, you know, that joke really hurt my feelings. And again, I said what I usually say, it's meant to. Like, look, one of my jokes is hurting the person who got circumcised. Another joke is hurting the person who, like, all jokes have a victim. And if you feel something, it's meant to be. She said, no. But, like, I was sitting near the person who used to punch me, and he laughed a lot. And I realized you're entertaining him, not me. You were helping him bully me. And that was one of the first times where I was like, you know what? I don't need to do that joke. Yeah. I don't want to be someone entertaining the abuser. I want to be the person entertaining the person getting abused. And I'm not saying for all comedians, but for me, what she said hit me enough to stop doing that joke. So it's not that she found it offensive, it's that I was entertaining the wrong people. Yeah,
absolutely. And that wasn't what your comedy is about, and you were going for it. It's interesting, like, there's things I have stopped doing. Like, you won't believe it, but I used to do, like, all my stuff's pretty clean now, but when I first started, I had actually quite a lot more rude stuff.
What?
Yeah, used to do quite, you know.
I've never seen Blue Tony.
There's quite a few.
I've seen one slightly blue joke, which was, I think it's sex in a tent at a festival.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore. That one was. I don't think that one was that blue, but there was a lot about.
I think everyone's dirty at the beginning because it's an easy way to get a laugh.
And I was like, actually, that's probably not that's not what I'm trying to achieve here. And you know, and you thought the same about clean stuff, didn't you?
Actually, but then I had the opposite. I've actually been offended by a show before. Have you ever been offended by a show? Nothing's offended you.
Offended by a show, by the very concept of
a show or a joke that you see, the way you're like, that's offended me. Now, I'm not saying it shouldn't exist. I was actually kind of impressed that it offended me. Yeah. But it did offend me. I watched Book of Mormon, right? Yeah. And are you aware of Book of Mormon?
I've heard
it's like a musical by the guys who do South Park. It's very funny. But it's set in an African village in Uganda where the Mormons go, and in this African village, literally, you'll have to bleep this out. We've got a beeper. Does that bleep?
That's the other person's intro.
Oh, oops.
Just leave it. Stop pressing it.
There's nothing.
No, because that's down. You're fine. No,
okay, that's down. It didn't play.
You're all right.
Well, there was a bleep. Anyway, I was going to bleep, but there's no bleep. So essentially, you'll understand why I thought you should bleep this. So they have in this village, right, in this African village. And it also felt very interesting because I was watching this at the Palace Theatre in Manchester. The whole crowd was white, right? And there was myself and one other person who were African, and the whole white crowd is laughing at this depiction of Africa. And I felt like if you did a survey, not all of them knew that it was total fiction, right? Do you know what I mean? Like it felt, and I was like, I know what they're going for, but this is too much, especially to this audience, right? Yeah. And I just felt like that. But again, I'm not saying I think that it shouldn't air. I just thought, I didn't know I could get offended. I thought as a comedian I was immune, but I was like, yeah.
No,
I'm not feeling this. And so, but I think that's good. I think it's okay to be bothered by stuff. I actually think it means you're alive. You know what I mean? Like I should be able to. Horror's meant to scare me. Sometimes comedy's meant to disgust me.
Yeah, because there's different theories on. So, what makes something funny? You know, like Freud talked about the idea that it was about. Laughter is about the release just of nervousness, right? But that's kind of been largely discredited as a sort of whole concept. The guy called Thomas Hobbes, philosopher, he said it was about superiority. People laugh. Now that's interesting. What you're saying there might be part of your revulsion to it would be the idea of if people there's a sort of cultural superiority. They're going, of course they, but most of the time, but. People think really it's more about people laugh. It's just about subjective. Let me get rid of someone there. It's incongruity, like how you think the world should be. You create a picture, and then it's different to how the world is that you create. But that is different for every person. Really.
Different for everyone.
So there's in sort of comedic like psychology, this idea of there's a range of lines, so like transgression, and if it goes too far for some people, then they stop laughing. But people like a level of transgression, and that's the bit that changes. And I suppose that's the bit that what is offensive.
But it's also interesting how in different cultures it changes. So like I lived in Canada for a while, and in Quebec, all of the swear words, which are often offensive, were religious related, because it used to be a very religious country. So it was like tabernacle, which is like a tabernacle, or colis, which is like a chalice in a church. Those were the swear words instead of fuck and shit. It was like colis, tabernacle, because it was such a religious culture. Saying those words in anger was very shocking, right? So it's
yeah.
But here's my question. Is there anything that's offensive to people and you have no idea why it offends anyone?
I think offence is just through lived experiences.
Okay.
Just if they've experienced a bad experience of that, I reckon. And I also think some people have opinions just to be more interesting. I think we've got too many opinions. Shut the fuck up.
Well,
what do you mean?
I think
like plumbers have got. If you're a plumber, just plumb, man.
I don't want to hear you. Conspiracy theory.
A friend was telling me.
Just fix the sink.
A friend was telling me about a racist plumber recently.
Brilliant.
But it was so funny because they said he just threw it in. So he said he would say a complete sentence. He'd say, "Yeah, I'm having a good day. Thanks a lot. I'll see you next week. Stop the boats." You just kind of throw it in, and you're like, "Whoa, what? Where did that come from?" He just said it like goodbye.
But I don't see why. Just do your job, go home, and live your life. Stop having so many opinions.
No, but you have opinions.
Do I?
Yes, you just
like what?
talk.
Well, that was one.
That was one.
Is it?
But
you can't bring that to a dinner party as a debate, can you?
Yeah. But there's also people have opinions, but also I think people are a bit more blind to the fact that they don't have opinions. They just kind of go with whatever, right?
My opinions.
What are they thinking? Yeah, I'll go with that.
I go entirely out of my mood on that time. Like, if there's a fucking bus full of people playing music out loud, I'll hate whoever those people are for that 2 hours. And then I'll be over it.
I tell you what I find interesting people get offended by is, have you seen, like you go around Edinburgh, I remember silent disco people got a big
ridiculous.
group of silent
Yes.
disco, and people hate it.
That's really irritating.
People find
Why?
it so
You can't
irritating.
hear them.
You can't hear them.
So
but they're
gay.
having fun.
So
There you go.
what? That'll offend some people.
So how are you so... Go and do something else, man.
Yeah. So this is it. So
Stop
we've
it.
reached the end of history.
And the other day I saw this guy in the gym dancing in a pure gym, and I thought, fucking lift some weights here, fucking. And then I was looking at him, and then he was gay, obviously because he was dancing in a gym, and he looked back at me. He thought I was checking him out, but I was like, stop that. Sit down, man.
Stop that. You were looking with...
I think I hate people that have this show.
I think
hate
we
people.
found the inner, like, not misanthrope. Is it?
Yeah,
this
misanthrope,
is
yeah.
the word for you. You
basically-
actually have a lot of irritation at people who are...
I think I hate people that...
Get out of my way, you're a buzzing
Well,
bee.
clearly it's
I think
just
I hate people that express extreme joy. I think that's my issue. I hate happiness.
Or are you just against dancing in general?
I just think, why go into go watch a show? Why go into a silent disco?
See, this is...
And ironically, the silent discos were made because loud ones were
It's so
irritating
annoying.
people.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, let's make it in a way that it doesn't
And now
irritate
They're loud
people.
because they're singing, and also like when there's a guy there with his girlfriend, I think you don't want to be at. You're just there because she wants you to be.
I used to get
Go and
annoyed...
have sex.
I tell you what, talk about that. I used to get annoyed...
With that you'd watch.
I get annoyed at...
Silent sex. That's all of my sex.
when at weddings and there was a Kayla, I used to go, oh, not a Kayla. I used to hate Kayla.
Because you have to dance.
Because it was too prescribed as well. You had to, you have to do this, and there's too many instructions. And I'm probably a bit like after a while.
Is that a Scottish dance?
It's a Scottish dance. And
Have
take
you
your-
ever witnessed Scottish people when you take the high road, I'll take the low road comes on?
No.
Let me paint the scene. I used to do loads of gigs in Scotland, right? I am in a nightclub afterwards.
Trying to
Trying
fuck
to
a woman,
pull,
obviously.
as you say. Only possible. Only reason I could be there, right? And I noticed these people don't dance. Like, R&B's playing all these things. The men are on one side, the women are on one side,
Good on
and
them.
the dance floor is empty.
Great.
Right? And I was like, this is ridiculous. What's wrong with you people? Suddenly, this song comes on. You take the high road, I take the low road.
Beautiful.
They storm the stage. Everyone's singing and like they went.
Well, and then when the song
batshit
ends,
crazy.
when it ends, they just sit back down.
They sat back down for that one song, and I was like, "What is this one song that makes Scottish people go batshit?"
This is... Yeah, they can basically guarantee there's going to be only Scottish people on the dance floor.
Yes, exactly. Oh, it was very fascinating, and I was like, "Just play that on loop.
Doesn't
They
sound like
love
a
it."
very good DJ. He'd have put the Proclaimers on or something like that afterwards. Bang, they would have got it. But that's a gutter for any. You know, as a DJ, you've only got one hit.
I've only got one.
This is the moment.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else you want to throw in? You didn't say, or are we good?
I think
I'm all right.
I would be offended if we carried on.
Okay. Ladies and
Podcasting
gentlemen,
going
that
too
has
long.
been episode 2 of season 2 of How Do You Not Know This?
When I was in Edinburgh, I met Charlie Brooker.
Oh, fantastic.
Well, I
He's
say
a
met him.
genius.
Yeah, but there's this band called Cunt and the Gang. Do you know
Okay,
that is? Where it's
don't
like
know.
they got this cult following and they were sold out.
Yeah.
Anyway, I saw him in the queue. I didn't know what he looked like. I just
Yeah.
knew who he was. And I was with Alex Campbell. He goes, "That's Charlie Brooker." So I went over to him. Hi, Charlie. Love you. And I was going to say my paedophile episode. That's the great. But I thought probably don't.
Probably don't.
Shut up and down.
Yeah.
Leave that out. And I went, "Hi, Charlie." And he went, "Hi." And I went, "Love your work. I think you're really great, man." And he went, "Thanks." And then he just turned around and they carried on his conversation. I went,
good.
"He wants me to leave now." So I just left.
No, but that's a good fan celebrity interaction.
Yeah.
You expressed that you like his stuff, and then
then we're
Well,
done.
actually, because
Then we're
I
done.
know experience this very rarely.
Yeah.
But the other day I was walking through at like 11 p.m. walking through Manchester, and this guy goes, "Oi!" And I went, "What?" And he went, "Oi!" And he went, "I've seen your videos." He went, "I saw the." She comes up to me, shakes my hand. "I saw the Universal Credit one, man. I've just started doing stand-up comedy. It's hard, isn't it?" And I thought, yeah, of course it's hard. And I just walked off. I was like, he didn't say he liked it or...
he just said, "Hey, I've seen it.
I like it.
I've seen
I've
it."
seen it and it looks really hard. It's like...
I get people are odd because they don't necessarily know. There's some people who feel they need to neg you.
Yes.
So they will
because
say
that's what a comedian would want.
They'll be like, hey, you're that comedian, aren't you? And they'll be like, my brother likes you. And you're like, you not so much. Why you bringing this? Why do you need to tell me that? You know what I mean? Like, it's not really my thing, but my brother likes you. And you're just like, but why are you talking to me?
But when you do have the nice interactions, it's really beautiful.
Oh, it's lovely.
Really
and some people are really good at compliments. Mm-hmm. Some people will stop you and they'll say it in a way that cheers you up.
I had this this weekend. I was at this beer festival I'd been to the last couple of years. 2 guys turned up and they had Tony Vino t-shirts.
Really?
That was great.
Game on. Do you host it every year then?
It was, here we go, these guys. And they weren't good-looking guys, so having groupies, two big bearded men.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, yeah.
Do you host it every year? Is that how?
I did a set last year and I hosted it the year before.
Right.
Glorious.
So
Glorious.
I was like,
that's wonderful.
That's better than a compliment.
That's better than a compliment. I've never had Daliso t-shirts, but I had Daliso masks orchestrated by Colin Manfred. Right? So Colin Manfred used to run a pub. When I was on television, he got everyone in the pub to put me on the big screen, and he made Daliso
that's clever.
masks with cutout eyes, and everyone wore them and cheered me on. It was so funny.
Brilliant.
It was so funny.
That's Monday.
And I think he did it just kind of take the piss, but it was hilarious. I loved it. When he sent me the photos, it was the coolest thing I've ever been said. It was wonderful.
All right.
Okay,
All right.
So
cheers, guys.
Like, subscribe, tune in for the next one. Tell people to listen and go back and listen to the past episodes. We have some great bangers in the chamber.
Boom.